The reason I started parkour was ever since I was a child I was always active, climbing things. I remember my aunt used to take me to a brick wall and I would try to climb it. I grew up a few years later. I met these Ukrainian guys who were doing what we call now parkour. And for some innate reason I wanted to join them to, I don't know, better myself, to be able to do what they did. So I started doing this and one thing led to another and I eventually ended up doing parkour and wanting to do it for a very, very long time.
Well, I started parkour originally as a way to get out of the house because I had been inside and I'd never really done anything fitness-wise, and I saw a few YouTube videos and I also played a few video games and decided that I'll go out and try it for myself.
I saw a video on the internet of some people doing parkour and I just thought it looked like good fun, and then some of my friends at school had started it quite recently, so I just joined in with them.
Difference between freerunning and parkour? Well, I've noticed a trend several years ago with all these kids coming out and saying, oh well, I want to do freerunning. To me, freerunning is more well, it's something that you do to show off your skills. It's not really trying to get the freedom of movement that you want when you want to move from point A to point B. So I don't believe in trying to do backflips and gainer flips on concrete because I don't want to break my neck, to be honest. But yeah, that to me is the difference between parkour. Parkour is more of an art form.
Well, I think that parkour it's a lot more underground than freerunning is, and there's not as many competitions, but I think parkour is much more about getting from A to B as fast as you can and with as much flow, while freerunning is about doing as many tricks as you can from A to B. Well, I didn't really have any problems with the authorities because I was privileged to be born into a family that was in the police force, but the people that I do know that used to train with me who didn't have that kind of access, they didn't really have any at all. We'd be training sometimes and we'd be asked to move on, but apart from that, none at all.
Quite often we do have a bit of trouble with local authorities, but it's nothing major. They just say, oh, we've had a complaint, can you move on? Or yeah, that's pretty much it. They just ask us to move on.
Well, I've been here for almost 4 years. I've seen every single spot there is to see, and I've trained at every single spot. So you reach a point where, what's the word? Where you've exhausted every single spot and you want to find new ones. So yes, I'm starting to find it difficult now, but in the beginning, no, it wasn't. It was actually exciting.
No, I don't find it difficult to do parkour in Coventry. There's plenty of places to do it. There's nothing really stopping you, so no.
Well, I think the one piece of advice I'd give to someone starting parkour is just to get out there. If you sit inside, and lots of people watch these YouTube videos and they want to go out and they want to train, but they don't because they're either afraid or they just don't have the energy to do it. But I think if you have that motivation, you should go out and do it as soon as you can, because you're never going to regret going out.
Don't try to do what you see on YouTube.
I think the first thing to do is watch some like parkour videos, so you get sort of the idea of it. Maybe start with someone who's already training, or if you don't know anyone, just have a go yourself. Look at some tutorials on the internet if you're unsure, but yeah, don't be afraid, just give it a go.
I don't think it's preferred, because I think that if a lot more people knew about it, then maybe it would become preferred. But sports like football and rugby, they're kind of very far apart from parkour and freerunning, because they're more competitive against other teams, whereas parkour and freerunning are competitive against yourself. And yeah.
Yeah, I'd say to me parkour is preferred over other sports, because you don't have the competition aspect. There's a lot more freedom. There's no sort of, you have to turn up at this time for this training session. But I still do love football as well.
Well, I prefer everything. I'll do everything as long as I have the time for it and I'm still young enough to do it. I will do it. But parkour is something I want to do for a very long time. Other sports will come and go, but parkour is something that stays.